Hey, what's good, family? This is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC. Hope you guys are having a blessed and wonderful day. Hope you're doing well out there. Today, second day of the work week, so I hope everything's going well for you. And the likelihood that things are not, and we know we all have one of those days because we're human. Into this life, a little rain must fall. If you're having one of those days, always remember this: tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope, trust, and faith in Allah God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. So just know that you do all things through God who strengthens you. You don't let things get to you and get the best of you. In any event, getting to the topic for this video. So tonight is the Kamala Harris Trump debate in Philadelphia. Think it's maybe 9 o'clock their time, 6 o'clock for those of us are here on the West Coast. And this debate is not like any other debate. It's so tailored to benefit Kamala Harris. And I'm gonna get into that here right now. So first and foremost, the debate would not be open to the public. That's that's unusual because most presidential debates that I've watched for decades have been open to the public. This one will not. That's not cool. Um, Here are the debate rules. The debate will be 90 minutes with two commercial breaks. The two seated moderators will be the only people asking questions. A coin flip was held virtually on Tuesday, September 3rd, last Tuesday, to determine podium placement and order of closing statements. Trump won the coin toss, and Harris selected the right podium position on screen, stage left. Candidates will be introduced by the moderators. The candidates enter upon introduction from opposite sides of the stage. The incumbent party will be introduced first. No opening statements, which is strange. Closing statements will be 2 minutes per candidate. No opening statements? Interesting. Candidates will stand behind podiums for the duration of the debate. Okay. Props or pre written notes are not allowed on stage. And this is what Kamala Harris wanted. She wanted pre written notes, but it won't be allowed. This is what she wanted. No topics or questions will be shared in advance with campaigns or candidates. Yeah, right. Candidates will be given a pen, a pad of paper, and a bottle of water. Okay. Candidates will have 2 minute answers to questions, 2 minute rebuttals, and 1 extra minute for follow ups, clarifications, or responses. They're not going to stick to that time frame. They just not. It will surprise me if they do. They have been known to go over their limit, both Trump and Biden or Trump or whomever, both the Republican candidate and a Democratic candidate. They have been known to go over their time. So we shall see how that plays out. Candidates' microphones will be live only for the candidate whose turn it is to speak and muted when the time belongs to another candidate. Now, this is something that Kamala Harris did not want. She wanted the microphones unmuted so she could interrupt Trump when he spoke. This is what she wanted. This is what she did not want. This is what she did not want. She wanted the mics to be unmuted the whole time so she could interrupt anytime she wanted to. So they told her no dice. Candidates would not be permitted to ask questions of each other. Wow. Campaign staff may not interact with candidates during commercial breaks. Moderators will seek to enforce timing agreements and ensure a civilized discussion. Right. There will be no audience in the room. I mentioned that earlier. That's a problem. That's not cool because you're running for a public office. This debate should be open to the public. That goes against democracy. That I don't like that. So those are the debate rules right there, and I got that from USA Today, article on USA Today. Those are the debate rules. Um, the notes, Kamala Harris wanted prepared notes. They said no dice. She wanted to send them questions to ask her. They said no dice on that. She also wanted the mics to be unmuted. They said no dice. And again, like I said a few seconds ago, she wanted to do that to interrupt Trump. She's not a good debater. She's only done one interview, and she didn't do that by herself. She had her white handler with her, I mean, her running mate, lion ass tampon Tim, with her during her interview a week and a half ago. So, like, why does he need to be there? Why? And that was with CNN, and she screwed that up royally. They tailor made that interview for her, and she still screwed it up. She had Tampon Tim there with her. Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, the guy that lied about his military career. Yeah, that asshole. Oh, by the way, Tim Walz's family doesn't like him. They're voting for Trump. I don't know if y'all have seen that or not, but Tim Walz's family members are voting for Donald Trump. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Oh my gosh. How laughable is that? But in the event, so yeah, so she did that one interview on CNN and she had her running mate with her. Didn't understand the sense of that, but whatever. One interview. Trump has done interviews. Trump has debated before. And remember what happened to Kamala Harris the last time she was debating when she ran for president? Tulsi Gabbard had her for lunch. She utterly destroyed her. She destroyed her so bad, she dropped out of the race. That's how bad it got. She got out of the race. She was utterly embarrassed by Tulsi Gabbard. Months later, Joe Biden names her his running mate, and Kamala Harris is on the debate stage again, this time against Mike Pence. And she didn't do good in that debate either because she kept trying to talk over him, kept trying to bully him. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Disrespectful to the sitting vice president. So she didn't do good in that debate either. She's not a good debater. That's been proven. Trump is good at debates. He's good at debates, and Kamala Harris has something to hide. She's very sneaky. I hope Trump exposes her for the fraud that she is, but I just don't like this whole setup because the public is not are not allowed to attend. It's closed off, and she wanted prepared questions to be asked for her of her. It's just insane. I wanted to see if they're going to ask her about the economy. What is her what is her plans for the economy to avoid a recession that we're headed toward? Many economists have said this. What is her what plans does she have in place to address the economic crisis that we're in? What plans does she have in place to address foreign policy, these proxy wars that we're in? Israel, Hamas, Ukraine and Russia, Syria, Yemen. What is her plan of action to address these proxy wars and foreign policy? What is her plan of action on the border crisis, which her administration created? How does she plan to curb it? Those three things. Those three things. How does she plan to what is her plan in place? We know what Trump's plan in place is. It's on his website. Kamala Harris's plans, they're not on there. They have a bio about her, how she met her husband, which okay, that's great. And they have a bio about Tim Walz, Tampon Tim. Nothing about policy. At least it wasn't on there last time I checked. Not a damn thing about the economic crisis. Not a damn thing about foreign policy. Not a damn thing about the border crisis. Not a damn thing about healthcare. When it comes to healthcare, the only thing they care about is reproductive rights, which doesn't make sense because they want women to have the right to kill their babies, their unborn babies, up to the point of giving birth. Well, up to the point, yeah, of the 9 month mark. They want women to have the right to murder their unborn babies up to the 9th month. That is insanity. That's what they're running on. They want people to have the right to love who they love. We all have had that right. What are y'all talking about? We've always had that right. No one has ever stopped you from loving somebody. That's a myth. But it's yet another talking point. The right to love whomever you want to love. There's no laws in place. There's never been any laws in place to stop people from loving who you love. Yes, there have been laws in place against same-sex marriage. You becoming a union, but you loving somebody? No, it's against the law to love. That's ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous, and it's a false talking point because that never has happened in the history of this country. Never. So that's a lie. That's a myth. Hit that thumbs up button. Smash that thumbs up button now. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when I do videos on here. It's just crazy. This border crisis. Well, I'm gonna start with the economic crisis. She, when I say she, Kamala Harris, she sort of addressed it when she said that she want to put a cap on a price of goods. That's socialism. That's socialism. They did that in Venezuela, and how did that work out for them? When you put a cap on goods, on the price of goods, this is America is a capitalist nation, free enterprise. When you put a cap on the price of goods, it stops free enterprise because free enterprise is competition. Okay, their prices are expensive. Let me go over here. Let me shop around. But if everything is the same price, you go over here. It's the same price. You don't like that. Let me go over here. This is okay. What it's going to do, it's going to cause companies to cut corners. It's going to hurt their overhead. It's gonna cause them to cut corners, and you will not be getting the quality products. You won't be getting quality. You paying all this money for something you're not getting quality for it, and that's going to be across the board. But this is what she wants. Anybody who knows business and knows this is just horrible. All about free enterprise, about competing. Socialism. That's their economic plan right there. Um, Foreign policy. I know what Biden's is. We're going to support Israel. We're going to support Ukraine, meaning that we're going to continue to be in these proxy wars. And she probably has the same, more than likely, well, I know for a fact, she has the same talking points as Biden, her boss, the same economic policy. We're going to continue to support Israel, but at the same time, it's wrong for Israel to kill innocent Palestinian people, but we're going to support them because they have a right to defend themselves. We're going to support Ukraine because it has a right to defend itself, meaning you're going to continue these proxy wars. Also, we're going to continue to bomb Yemen and Syria. Continue these proxy wars. The border crisis. We're going to allow them to come over to get legal status. Not doing it the right way, not waiting to become a citizen, but just come on in and just come here illegally, commit crimes like we saw in Aurora, Colorado, and in other places. Give them benefits, give them money before we take care of American born citizens, before we take care of those who serve in wars, who have PTSD, who are homeless on the street, before we take care of those foundational Black Americans who built this country from the ground up, many of those of which are veterans, yours truly. We don't care about that. We don't give a damn about them. We can. Nancy Pelosi said on Bill Maher's show a week and a half ago that we want to fast track them to legal status. So you're allowing them to come in this country legally, so you can fast track them to legal status. Why are you doing that? So they can vote Democrat. Y'all don't see the game that these people are playing. It's as clear as day. Dr. Claude Anderson said 30 years ago that Black people in this country would be a permanent underclass. He said that 30 years ago. And look what's happening now. He said that in Black labor, white wealth 30 years ago. And look what's happening. We're becoming a permanent underclass. They're giving illegal migrants benefits that should be belonging to us: housing, money, on same amount of money for just anything, for to get houses, to get food, to get clothes, driver's licenses, to start a business. Let them get federal jobs in New York State, jobs as police officers there, and out here in California, particularly in LA. I mentioned in my last video, 54% of the LAPD is now brown. 54% of the LAPD. 44 years ago, it was 80% white. Now it's 54% brown. Different color, same sentiment. and we see what's going on in Aurora, Colorado, in Dallas, in Chicago, in New York. Donald Trump was right when he said years back that they're bringing over their criminals, and it's been his point has been proven right. These gangs, these Venezuelan gangs, took over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, kind of like the CNB brothers did to Carter in New Jack City. They just took it over. Said, "No, we taking this bitch over." They did it down there in Dallas, in Chicago. They getting housing before Black Chicagoans. How does this make sense? How is this even legal? New York is so Chicago is so bankrupt. Chicago's gonna be the next city to declare bankruptcy. Watch. Detroit declared bankruptcy back in 2013. Chicago gonna be the next city to declare bankruptcy. And right after Chicago, it's gonna be New York. Yup. It may be New York before Chicago. They stopped picking up trash in New York. I saw with my own eyes. I was there in February. Me and my wife. They stopped picking up trash in New York because they're giving billions of dollars to illegal migrants for housing, for clothing, you name it. They're giving it to them. Chicago's doing the same thing. LA is doing the same thing. And it's flat out illegal and wrong, but it's been allowed to happen. And they want you to vote for them. While they're telling you we ain't gonna do shit for you. We're gonna do shit for these people coming across the border illegally. Illegally. We're not gonna do shit for you, but we're gonna do something for them. It's just insane. But this is what the Biden Harris, well now Harris Biden administration, this is what they have allowed to go on. She was supposed to be the border czar, and how that well has that gone? How well has that gone? Letting people come here illegally by the thousands, criminals, rapists, murderers, what so have you. There's been countless numbers of stories about criminal acts by illegal migrants across the country. I remember at the beginning of the year, they shot two Venezuelan gang members or terrorist thugs, shot two NYPD officers. They didn't kill them, but they shot them. And guess what? They didn't do a day in prison. They walked right out the courtroom. I think they did get deported, but they're probably still here. They probably came back in. I said on here just last week, Polk County, Florida Sheriff Grady Judd did a press conference about how migrants were breaking into people's homes down there in Polk County, Florida. The same person committed crimes in New York City, got stopped for drinking and drive for drunk driving in Kansas. He was deported, came back in the country. They tried to deport him again, but ICE said they couldn't because he claimed asylum. This is what they're allowing, and it's only going to get worse. This is what we're seeing now. It's only the tip of the iceberg. It's going to get worse, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Kamala Harris uh, this is how she feels about the border crisis. Allow them to come in, allow them to commit criminal acts, terrorizing American citizens. Oh, by the way, she's anti-Second Amendment. She wants to take your guns away. She don't want you to have the right to bear arms. But yet and still, the criminal could bear arms. You can't defend yourselves against the criminal. Well, look what happened just last week in Georgia, the high school shooting at Appalachian High School, that school shooting at Appalachian High School. A good guy with a gun stopped a bad guy with a gun, or a bad seed of Satan with a gun. That resource officer engaged him. Well, he pulled out his weapon, and the boy, that terrorist piece of shit, put down his weapon and surrendered because he knew if he didn't, he was going to die that day. He should have died anyway. He should have been taken out. It's funny how these school shooters can be taken alive, but yet and still they kill innocent black men and women. Funny how that happens, right? How law enforcement or whatsoever, they don't fear for their lives when a terrorist kills people, does a mass shooting. They don't fear for their lives in those instances. But when it's somebody, a black that's unarmed, man or woman, child, they fear for their lives. Interesting. Hmm. Moving along, but yeah, now just imagine if that resource officer didn't have a weapon. They want to take guns away, but let criminals have them. Let criminals terrorize the American public, the American citizens, but we can't defend ourselves. That goes against the Constitution. The Second Amendment is the right to keep and bear arms. Doesn't matter what you have. It does not say you cannot have an AR-15. The right to keep and bear arms. They want to take that away from you. Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, she has armed security. But she want to take your guns away as an American citizen. So in 90 minutes, I hope Trump addresses all of this. I hope he embarrasses her. But again, like I said, Kamala Harris is not a good debater. She's scared to do interviews. She's only done one, and that was with Tim Walz. And he probably had to talk her through that before the interview. That's why his ass was up there. I get it now. He was up there to help her. I get it. So if she gets elected president, is he going to be there to hold her hand when she's meeting across from Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping in China or other leaders? Is he going to be there to hold her hand when she goes to these conferences, G4 summits, whatever? Is he going to be there to hold her hand? It's just not a good look. The lady doesn't have the qualifications to be president. She don't have what it takes. She don't. She don't have the wherewithal. And I hope Trump exposes her because she's a fraud. She's just a fraud. We already know about Donald Trump. His sexual his he's a convicted felon. Okay. We all know that. The media has beat up on Trump a lot over these last few years. is actually getting tiring and boring. We know. And a lot of it is fiction. A lot of it is just made up. They just don't want him anywhere near the Oval Office because, in their eyes, he's the worst white man in the history of this country. Worse than Andrew Jackson. Worse than Abraham Lincoln. Yes, Abraham Lincoln was a devil. Worse than Abraham Lincoln. Worse than Woodrow Wilson. Worse than Ronald Reagan. Worse than Richard Nixon. Worse than George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush. Worse than all these presidents in the history of this country, Donald Trump's the worst. Presidents who owned slaves while they were in office, he's worse than they are. Presidents who openly supported the Ku Klux Klan, Trump is worse than them. Got it. A president who put drugs in the black community, Trump is worse than him. A president who started a war over oil, Trump is worse than him. Another president who was the son of the president who started a war in the early 90s, who started two wars, killing thousands of innocent people, Trump, and then lied about it, lied about why we went to war in the first damn place, Trump is worse than him. Got it. I'm not saying Donald Trump's a saint. Not saying the man's a saint. I'm not a fan of Trump. But I will say this, with Donald Trump, what you see is what you get. He doesn't pull any punches. What you see is what you get. Kamala Harris is fake. She's deceitful. And those of us out here in California, particularly the Bay Area, we know about her. We know that she's a devil. We know because she has proven that to so many people. Locking up black men on for non-violent drug charges, where they were, and then come to find out, a lot of them were innocent. Locking up a mother whose daughter had medical issues, which caused her to miss school. Locked up her mother, and the girl had a stroke, causing her medical issues to be even worse than what they already were. Yes, that's public knowledge out here. Locking up for truancy, no investigation, just locking them up. This lady is wicked. She's deceitful. She's not qualified to lead this country. I guess that would deceitful, and I guess that would qualify because we have other deceitful people. But she doesn't do interviews. She's a horrible speaker. She changes her voice depending on what part of the country she's in. You better thank a union member for paid time off. For pay, you better thank a union member. She was in Detroit, so she had to act like a Detroit homegirl, I guess. In Atlanta, she has a southern accent. How y'all doing? But out here, she's the Valley girl, the ditzy blonde, the ditzy Valley girl. The lady is a chameleon, Chameleon Harris. With her, you don't know what you're going to get. We don't need someone like that leading this country. We don't. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications on the new videos on here. It's just insane. It's just So we shall see how tonight's debate unfold. I definitely will be doing a video on the debate, on the aftermath of the debate tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I definitely will do that. We're gonna we're gonna see how this unfold, and definitely will be speaking on it tomorrow. I'm doing good, brother. Doing real good. Yes. Fuck Kamala Harris, whatever. Yes, I definitely agree. But I just don't like the fact that this debate is not open to the public because that's just I have a big issue with that, a huge issue with that because these people are running for a public office. They work for us, and we can attend this debate. It's not open to the public. That's just wrong. But I guarantee you that was from the Harris team, her campaign team. Because again, like I said earlier in this video, they want to prepare questions from the moderator asked for Kamala Harris. They wanted the mics unmuted so she could interrupt Trump anytime she wanted to. This is what they wanted. Thankfully, they didn't get none of that. And she is not black. I've been saying that. I've been saying that for weeks now, that this woman is not black. There are Chinese Jamaicans. That's right. Chinese Jamaicans. I've met them. There are white Jamaicans. I've met them too. Not everybody from Jamaica is black. She is Indian and Irish. That is absolutely correct. Her dad was Irish. Her mom is Indian. She is not black. Oh, and another thing, Judge Joe Brown dropped a bomb on this. She did not grow up in a segregated school. She did not go to segregated schools in California. Judge Joe Brown exposed that. California did not have segregated schools. Black kids went to school with white kids out here. It wasn't like Boston, wasn't like Chicago, Detroit, or even the South. They did not have segregated schools out here. That is a damn lie. Judge Joe Brown said, I was a teacher in the late 60s. We did not have segregated schools. He said, yeah, they shuffled teachers around, but we did not have segregated schools when she was coming up. She's a liar. And she went to high school in Canada. So she grew up in Canada. She didn't grow up in Oakland. She was only here for a short time. So all her life is the life that she's portraying is a lie. It's a lie, an utter lie. Yes, and tampon Tim, that doesn't even make sense to have tampons in the boys' bathroom. Why even do that? Well, if we run out in the girls' bathroom, we go in the boys' bath. Could you have that's utter bullshit. Stop making this shit up. That's dumb. That is dumb. It's no way in hell they're gonna run out of that many tampons in the girls' bathroom where they have to go to the boys' bathroom and get them. That's dumb. Y'all don't. But black people, wake up, do some damn research. Stop being silent. Stop being cowards. Call this out for what it is. Tim Walz never served in a war zone, never was deployed to a war zone. I was. He wasn't. Never. He was in the National Guard for 24 years. We thank him for that. He did his part. But he did not deploy to a war zone. The lies, the lies, the lies. Yeah, and I mentioned that. I mentioned it earlier in the video that Tim Walz's family, not just his brother, but many of his family members are supporting Trump. They know this man is a fraud. They know he's a liar. They're not even supporting him. His own family. What does that tell you? Y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake the fuck up. For real. I'm not telling y'all who to vote for. I'm just telling y'all to wake up and do research on these people. Don't give your vote blindly to any candidate. Dr. Claudia Anderson has said that time and time again. Do not vote, do not just vote blindly. Do your research, do your education. In the age of modern technology, the information is out there. Yeah, yeah, Shapiro's from that community, the Jewish community. No, they didn't want him in there, even though we know they run the government. But I mean, stop voting blindly for these people. Do your research, y'all. The information is out there. I've said it on here many, many, many times, and I continue to say it until I'm blue in the face. Vote for whomever you want to vote for. If you want to vote for Kamala Harris, cool. Want to vote for Donald J. Trump, cool. If you want to sit on the couch and watch this shit show unfold, cool. That's what yours truly is doing. You have options. You have options. Do not let anyone tell you you do not have options. You have them. Vote for yourself. Yes, you have options. Just know what you're voting for. Do your research. I'm gonna hop off of here. I hope I was able to drive my point home. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit that subscribe button so you get notifications of whenever I do videos on here. Share this video, share it, share it, share it, share it, share it. Let's have the conversation. Drop your comments, let me below, let me know what you think. I would love to hear them. Please. Share this video, share it, share it, share it, make it go viral. We don't have to agree, but let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable, even on topics such as this. In our disagreements, let's use logic and respect and not emotion and disrespect. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. But support my podcast, support my YouTube channel here. Continue to show your love. Your brother needs it. So please continue to show it. Brothers as well as sisters, y'all be safe out here. Beware and be aware. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Whether you're going to work, coming home from work, dropping your kids off at school, picking them up, running errands, whatever the case may be, please be safe. I love y'all. Share this video. Let's have a conversation. And I'll talk to y'all soon. All right, I'm out. Take care. Love y'all. Assalamu alaikum.